strong winds cause controllability problems in light aircraft, we can deflect the controls to help us. The wind here at Sombra is about 270 at 15, which is within the 20 knots crosswind limit of the DA40, but still enough to need our attention on the ground and in flight. A strong crosswind blows over the upwind wing and therefore generates lift. The fuselage mostly shields the downwind wing, so this uneven lift causes a downwind banking effect. A crosswind from the right would lift the right wing and potentially have us roll to the left. Therefore, apply into-wind aileron control to counter this rolling force. A wind from the left would do the opposite, so left aileron would be used. This works with a strong crosswind from anywhere ahead of the nose. With a crosswind from behind, apply the opposite control inputs. Nose into wind, turn into wind. Nose out of wind, turn out of wind. We're pointing straight into the wind right now, so we won't apply any control input just yet. Taxi to the left and cross runway 24 to reach the holding point for runway 33. The DA40 has a castering nose wheel, so use brakes to tighten your turn.
Okay. I don't have independent brakes, so
You're cleared to cross the runway, continue straight on. Now we've turned, the wind is from behind and the right. Nose is out of wind, so we turn out of wind. Apply left aileron.
okay, we're at the holding point.
Come to a stop here and we'll talk about the crosswind circuit. As we move around the circuit pattern, the wind correction needed will change after each turn. Today's wind is from 270, marked by your heading book on the HSI. Drift angle is related to your ground speed and the speed of the crosswind component. If travelling at 60 knots ground speed with a 20 knot crosswind, your drift angle will be 20 degrees. Double your ground speed to 120 knots, the drift angle will halve to 10 degrees. By applying a heading correction into wind that is equal to your drift angle, you will fly the required track. Keep your into-wind aileron inputs in whilst accelerating for takeoff, gradually reducing them towards neutral as your speed increases. Golf Foxtrot Sierra Alpha Charlie ready for departure for circuits.
Golf Alpha Charlie cleared line up and takeoff runway 33, wind 270 at 12.
Clear for takeoff runway 33, Golf Alpha Charlie. During the takeoff, apply left aileron, expect the nose to yaw into wind once the nose wheel lifts.
Okay, flaps, take off. Increase power. Engine gauges, displays all are in the green. Nose coming up. Positive rate of climb.
The nose is weathercocked into wind, but we're still tracking the centre line as the result of wind drift. Pitch for about 70 knots to get a good climb rate. There are obstacles and hills near to the runway. Flaps up.
Flaps up.
Make a left turn to the crosswind leg, heading 245.
20-degree bank.
Level off at 1,000 feet circuit altitude and turn onto downwind, heading 152. Golf Alpha Charlie, request extended downwind, low approach and go around.
Golf Alpha Charlie cleared low approach, runway 33, wind 270 at 13.
Cleared low approach runway 33, then request joining low level right downwind runway 24 for full stop. Golf Alpha Charlie.
Golf Alpha Charlie Roger, from the missed approach, enter right downwind, low level, runway 24.
Roger, thank you. Golf Alpha Charlie. As the wind is now a tailwind, you're travelling more quickly over the ground, giving less time on downwind. We're going to fly further out on the downwind to give you a longer final approach. Keep going until I ask you to turn base. Downwind checks, brakes pressured and released, undercarriage fixed, mixture full rich, fuel on and sufficient, instruments in the green, cabin secure. With an extended downwind leg, you won't need to descend like you would with a normal circuit. When turning base, maintain circuit altitude and judge when to begin descending and taking flap visually. Okay, that should be far enough. Turn left onto the base leg. You'll have a tailwind in the turn, so expect to make one continuous turn onto final approach. Keep the turn going and line up with runway 33, remaining mindful of the terrain on final approach. Point the nose to the left of the runway to account for the crosswind. Configure as needed. Keep flying the approach and I'll call for the go-around.
Nope. Wind as we crossed over the terrain. Throttles at idle.
Go around, nose to the horizon, full power and set takeoff flaps. Level off at 500 feet, then make a right turn to track 055. Keep the flaps at takeoff. Keep 500 feet and turn right onto track 055. That's a right downwind for the short runway 24. Downwind checks, brakes pressured and released, undercarriage fixed, mixture full rich, fuel on and sufficient, instruments in the green, cabin secure. For a short field landing, we need to be more accurate with our touchdown and choose an earlier aiming point. Once we're down, apply strong braking to come to a stop in the shortest distance. Golf Alpha Charlie ready for base 24 full stop.
Golf Alpha Charlie cleared to land, runway 24, wind 270 at 15.
Cleared land 24 Golf Alpha Charlie. Make a right turn onto final for runway 24. Now choose an early aiming point on runway 24, such as the first centerline marking. Get fully configured with full flap and keep the speed back. Make a positive touchdown and get onto the brake straight away. Aim to stop before the second exit on the right. We stopped a little further down the runway than intended. Practice your short field landings to get it nailed down. Great, now for when taxiing in, remember to use your crosswind controls again.